What's cracking? Darren McDuffie here, alias Fat Man, helping you become perfectly healthy and toned. Today, just talking a little bit about being overweight. I was reminded of this when I did the podcast Monday with Julia Cannon. We discussed her book, Soul Speak, The Language of the Body. If you haven't had a chance to go back and listen to that podcast, I would suggest that you do. It's available in Blog Talk Radio under Perfectly Healthy and Toned Radio, which is my moniker, or you can download it on iTunes and listen to it at any time. Listen to it in your car. Just look for Perfectly Healthy and Toned Radio or Fat Man Radio in iTunes and it should come up. And if you do it in iTunes, please leave me a review. But getting back to the video, just talking about overweight and the metaphysical meaning or the emotional meanings behind certain ailments. So on that podcast, we talked about the metaphysical meanings or the emotions behind cancer, behind diabetes, behind thyroid, hypothyroidism, just many different things on that particular podcast. But I wanted to talk specifically about obesity and being overweight because we touched on this. And Julia said that being overweight is a mechanism of protection. And I sincerely believe that. A lot of times we think that we are just what we can see with our physical senses, but it's much more than that. And a lot of people tend to not want to get in touch with their feelings. They tend to bury their feelings, repress their feelings, and tend to look over everything. And we think everything is about action, when in all reality, it's more about thought and then applying the action once you get in touch with your thoughts and get in touch with your feelings. So my personal story is, for me, back in about 2002, 2003, I really wanted this job and I ended up getting the job. But when I got the job, I was really stressed out and it caused me to eat more than I would eat. It caused me to, just quit exercising. And basically, I got something that I really didn't want. I thought that I wanted. That's why, we have these sayings, be careful what you think, be careful what you wish for, because sometimes you'll get something and you realize it's not really what you wanted. And the universe has a way of communicating with us with that. But being a trainer, a fitness trainer, and doing nutrition and doing all of these things for a number of years, I've always noticed that there's an emotional undertone to gaining weight. For many people, it might be shame, it might be guilt, it could be any number of things or something that they're keeping inside of them that they have never come to terms with. And the weight comes on as a protection mechanism. Whether you want to believe this or not, the weight comes on as a protection mechanism. And a lot of times that's why we never get to the core of what's happening to us. That's why a lot of people gain weight and then they might lose the weight and then they go back and gain the weight again, because they're never really getting to the core emotion of why they gain the weight in the first place, or why they are having these particular emotions. And you have to address the emotions. That's the biggest thing that we're missing. Most people are not addressing their emotions or how they feel. We are repressing our emotions and we never get really in touch with how we feel. The next thing is, I think is really big, is that we are somewhat afraid to confront ourselves. We're afraid to find out the truth about ourselves. We can dish it out, but we're afraid to go in and look inward about how we feel about certain things. You could be in a bad relationship and you're repressing that and you're staying in a relationship. You could be like I was in a job that I thought that I really wanted, and I'm repressing those emotions instead of moving on to find something that might be better for me, but might not be a little bit more prestigious, may not be as prestigious rather, then I could really go into something else that might serve me a little better. But for most of us, we're not getting in touch with our emotions and we're not really letting ourselves get into that feeling aspect of where we are. And a lot of times that manifests itself in more weight. And I would encourage you, I would actually challenge you to to start asking yourself, what am I feeling? If you're someone who's overweight and has been overweight for a while, or you're someone who is always gaining weight, losing weight, and then gaining it back, get to the core of your emotional issues. Darren McDuffie, alias Fat Man, helping you become perfectly healthy and toned. Thank you.